Chapter 80. I want to run, but I can't decide which way to go. I'm desperate to get the hell out of here, and yet I absolutely have to keep following Penley and see where this is going. I take a step forward, then back. I'm a human yo-yo. Finally, I run to the hotel. I push back the fear, the dread, and sprint up the front steps beneath the Falcon's red awning, slowing down only as I enter the lobby, which I remember from my time here after I moved from Boston. Block it out, Chris. Not relevant now. Here comes the first tricky part, seeing which room Penley's heading to while still not being seen. Where is she? Nowhere. I scan the swank lobby with its minimalist decor. They've redecorated, I see. The furniture is all black, as is most of the clothing. It's like a Prada convention. There are thin people everywhere, but not one of them is Penley. I rush to the two elevators on the wall to the left of reception. The first is open and waiting, the second heading upward. A digital panel on the wall tells me where. I watch and wait until it stops on the 4th floor. Off I go, taking the empty elevator. When the doors open, I peek out, hoping to see Penley from behind, moving toward her room. Instead, the hallway's empty. I feel like one of those characters in a scary movie with the audience shouting, "Get out of there, Kristen, run! Get away!" I won't do that. I worry that I've missed Penley or that she's not even on this floor. Then comes a woman's laugh from a few doors down. Or is it a cackle? Either way, I know it instantly. It's the pencil. I get close and listen, my ear maybe an inch from the door. When they're not laughing, they're talking, and though I can't quite make out the conversation, I recognize the other voice in the room. It's him, Stephen. I listen for a minute to their frolicking. They almost sound like kids in there, albeit very naughty ones. Is this really the woman who had me alphabetize her cans of soup? I feel for my camera again. No problem this time, it's there, at the ready. I spot the door to the stairwell at the end of the hallway. There's a small cutout window at eye level. Looks like a perfect place to set up shop. I figure if Penley and Stephen arrive separately, they'd probably leave separately. Not that it really makes a difference. Solo shots of them slinking out of the same hotel room will more than do the trick. Michael will be able to fill in the blanks. I back away from the door, the mix of their giggling and goodness knows what now like nails on a blackboard to me. If I'm going to commit to a stakeout, I can only hope that Stephen isn't into tantric sex like Sting. I'll be waiting forever. I start walking toward the stairwell. Halfway there I stop as if I've hit a wall. The feeling of dread rushes over me again as I turn and face a room on the opposite side of the hallway. I feel dizzy, I'm shivering. All because of what I hear. Chapter 81. It's the music. This time it's not between my ears, it's behind the door. The same song that accompanies the dream about this hotel is coming from inside this other room. It must be on the radio. How convenient. Or how sadistic of someone. But who? I lean in and listen, my ears straining. It's faint, and I still can't make out the damn lyrics. The name of the song remains stuck on the tip of my tongue. Not for long, though. I knock softly on the door. Hate to bother you folks, but it's time to play Name That Tune. No one answers. So I knock a little louder. Come on, answer already. Are you in the shower? Asleep with the radio on? I guess it could happen. I drop to my knees, peering in at what little I can see beneath the door. It's definitely dark in there. This is so frustrating. Whatever it takes, I need to get into that room right now. I stand and begin banging furiously, my fist bruising right before my eyes. If no one's in there, I'll knock down the damn door myself. I hear a lock snapping open behind me. It's Penley and Stephen's room. Run! I sprint for all I'm worth toward the stairwell. From behind me, I can hear the door opening and Stephen's voice echoing in the hallway. I don't know. I'll check, he said to Penley. I heard it too. I'm checking. Stupid, stupid, stupid. I was too loud. I reached the stairwell entrance, frantically pushing through the door. Did he see me? Would he recognize me from behind? Or from the front, for that matter? I'm about to race down the stairs when my gut steers me in the opposite direction. Up, go up. Dashing up the steps, I reach the landing halfway to the next floor and throw myself against the cold concrete wall. Out of view, I hope. I hold my breath listening for Stephen. Sure enough, he was right behind me. He's running down the stairs. My gut was right. I tiptoe to the railing and steal a quick glance. A couple of flights below, I can see the top of Stephen's head. Also on display are his bare shoulders. He's wearing nothing but a towel. He continues downward, probably thinking I'm heading for the lobby. That's when I hear it. The voice I love to hate. Honey? Penley calls out, where are you? On a dime, he stops. Penley must have him wrapped around her bony little finger. I'm down here, he calls back. Who is making the noise in the hall, she asks. That's what I'm trying to find out. Oh, I see. So you'd rather run around the hotel half naked than have sex with me? Okay, fine. It's classic Penley, and before you can say horn dog, Stephen's racing back up the stairs to her. It's a miracle, all right. Praise the pencil. Chapter 82. You're where? He asks. Outside the Falcon Hotel, I answer, where you need to be right away. Please come. Yes, I want you to drop everything. I quickly explain why. I'll be right there. Michael tells me don't move. Don't worry, I won't. I don't. I remain perched on a stool behind the window of a Starbucks across the street. There's a perfect view of the Falcon's entrance, the red awning eclipsed only by the occasional bus or delivery truck passing by. After Stephen chased me into that stairwell, I wasn't exactly in the mood to stick around inside. Plus, there's the matter of my history with the hotel. Poor little Kristen's first days in New York, a horror story in itself, but definitely one for another time. Anyway, a picture might be worth 1,000 words, but having Michael see Penley's affair in the flesh, as it were, speaks for itself. Now he has to get here before they leave, which means I change my mind about one thing. I hope Stephen does have sex like Sting, on one of his best days too. 20 minutes later, Michael storms through the door of Starbucks. All at once, the loitering latte drinkers glance up from their laptops. The hell are you looking at? Says Michael's expression. Go back to writing your stupid spec screenplays that will never get made. He spots me and hurries over. Are they still in there? He asks, nodding at the hotel. Yes, thankfully, I answer. He frowns and I get it immediately. Thankfully really isn't the right word. As much as he wants to catch Penley red-handed, I have to remember this isn't something he relishes. In fact, he seems completely on edge and on the verge of going over the top, which is something I don't want to experience. That look of doubting me, of thinking that I'm crazy Kristen, is entirely gone from his eyes, though. He knows I'm not mistaken or making it up. This is real. He asked me to tell him everything again, from my first steps following Penley to when I called his office. Give me every detail, Chris, he says, and I do, right down to their room number. Of course, there's one thing I leave out, and that's the other room and the music. Was there really no one in there? Was there even music playing? Michael pulls back a sleeve to reveal his Rolex. How long has it been? About an hour, I say, watching him tap his loafer impatiently. Just so you know, they'll probably come out separately. That's how they arrived. He bristles. She's walking out of a hotel, for Christ's sake, at 11 in the morning. Alone or not, what more do I need to see? He sees it anyway, the whole sloppy enchilada. To my utter disbelief, Penley and Stephen emerged together seconds later. How brazen, how stupid, how very Penley, and how enraged Michael becomes. I'm watching him watch them, his face reddening, his nostrils flaring. Maybe a picture would have been better. I'm afraid he might explode right here in the coffee shop. Then it gets even worse. Penley and Stephen engage in one hot and heavy, no doubt about it, kiss. It's the money shot. And while I no longer need to capture it on film, I do anyway. The photographer's instinct takes over. Don't think, just shoot. As for Michael, it's as if he's watching a spectacular car wreck. He can't turn away from the kiss. I don't really blame him. It is compelling stuff in a sick sort of way. Unfucking believable, he mutters under his breath. Unfucking believable. I lower my camera and look at him. It's his voice. I've never heard it like this before. The tone, the register, it's beyond anger, it's beyond anything. Are you okay? I asked Michael. I'm sorry you had to see this. I could kill the bitch, is his answer. Chapter 83. My mind is spinning a little, but Michael seems completely focused, locked in. For the first time, I can see how he is at his job. Where does she think you are right now? He asks. I barely hear him. Huh? Penley, does she think you're at the apartment? I nod, and he immediately whips out his cell phone. What are you doing? I ask. Would you ever disappear from work this long without leaving a note? He's right. I didn't think that far ahead. No, I say. In fact, I'm supposed to be getting the patio cleaned up for summer. Michael hits his speed dial. So we need to buy you some time, he says. The next moment borders on surreal. So what's new? I watch across the street as Penley breaks her lip lock with Stephen and reaches into her purse. She checks her cell phone and immediately looks uneasily at Stephen, raising a finger to her mouth. Shh. She answers the phone, and I see her lips moving. This is weird, but also exciting. Hi, honey, how are you? Says Michael, standing about a foot away from me. You still at the gym? His voice is completely normal, even chipper, not a hint of stress. This is so bizarre, I'm thinking. Of course, this is also so Michael, the same guy who threw his arm around my shoulder and introduced me to everyone at his business dinner. One cool cucumber. I've got my eyes trained on Penley as my ears pick up her voice through Michael's phone, sort of like watching a foreign movie with subtitles. I'm leaving the gym now, I hear her answer. What do you want? I'm kinda busy at the moment. You must be exhausted, says Michael. He shoots me a grin. She's not the only one with King Kong balls. I strain to hear what Penley says next, something about why Michael's on his cell and not in his office. Oh, I'm just out grabbing a cup of coffee, he replies. You know I hate the crap they brew at the office. It's weak as shit. Actually, that's why I'm calling. I need a favor. Penley tells him to hold on for a second. Michael and I watch through the window. She puts her hand over the phone and says something to Stephen, who appears to be losing his patience. Poor guy. Clearly, she's explaining that she can't ditch Michael's call easily. A few seconds later, a frustrated Stephen marches back into the hotel. What, does he live there? Penley gets back on. So what's the favor? Is everything okay? Asked Michael. Yeah, for a second I thought I left my keys at the gym. I found them though. Pretty clever, Penley. So, about that favor, says Michael. We've got a client coming in from Tokyo tomorrow morning, and someone told me that store in Midtown, Takashimaya, sells this amazing Japanese coffee. I was wondering if you could pick some up for me on your way home. Penley sighs so annoyingly loud through the phone that a few people sitting nearby turn their heads. They probably can't believe what a bitch she is. You can't send your secretary to do this, she whines. I have to go buy coffee for you. Honey, it would take Amanda over an hour to get there and back. I figured you were only a few blocks away. Please, Pen, could you? Another sigh, even louder. So what's this supposedly amazing coffee called? I'm not sure, but I'll recognize the name. Call me on my cell when you get there, okay? Fine. Penley gives her phone the finger as she flips it closed. All Michael can do is laugh. I'm gonna miss the little woman, he jokes as Penley disappears from her view. I smile, but only because I'm glad he can joke at all. I've never seen him as dark as he was a few minutes ago. I shoot him a look. Japanese coffee? Got us in the details, remember? I nod. So what now? Michael takes my hand. You love me, don't you? Of course I do. And you trust me, right? Yes. What's this about? Why do I need to trust Michael right now? What you do, he says, is go back to work and get that patio in order and pretend that everything's fine and dandy on the home front. That's it. For the time being, that's it. What about you? He doesn't answer. He lets go of my hand and walks toward the door. Michael, what are you gonna do? He glances back, flashes me his best smile, then he winks. It's my wink. You'll see. 12. Chapter 84. Go after him. Find out what he's up to. Now, Kristen. But my feet won't move. I remain there in the Starbucks window. I watch Michael leave, hop into a cab, ride off. Gone. You'll see, he said. 2 little words that paralyze me and start me shaking again. Somehow I know that this is it, where everything has been going from the beginning. But how exactly will it end? Or do I already know that too? I look across the street at the Falcon Hotel, the late morning sun reflecting off its windows with a fierce glare. I can still picture the scene so clearly. The gurneys being wheeled out, the 4 body bags lined up on the sidewalk, cops everywhere. Delmonico. Was the ponytail there too? First I dream it, then I see it. Now it's haunting me every minute of the day. I know this is all connected, it has to be, but I can't figure it out. Could anybody? I wonder. Eventually I move my feet. I rush back to 5th Avenue and take care of the stupid patio in plenty of time before Penley returns home. When she does, sure enough, she's sporting a shopping bag from Takashimaya with a pound of Japanese coffee inside. Later, I pick up the kids from school and take them to the ancient playground in Central Park where we've gone dozens of times before. Sean peppers me with one question after another while Dakota rolls her big blue eyes. But we have fun, under the circumstances anyway. It's another typical day, alright. Everything's fine and dandy, just as Michael wanted it. But for what reason? You'll see, he said. As I head home to my apartment, I get this awful, gnawing feeling that somehow I already have. Chapter 85. Oh, great, just who I want to see. My lovely neighbor, Mrs. Rosencrantz, is standing by the mailboxes as I walk into the lobby of my building. It's almost as if she's there waiting for me. Turns out she is. Have you gotten your mail yet today? She asks, her smug tone laced with a small measure of glee. Actually, I haven't gotten my mail for about a week. I've been a little distracted. Why do you care? I say. She glares through her oversized bifocals, baiting me by saying nothing. There's obviously something she wants me to see. I'm tempted to keep walking toward the elevator and not give her the satisfaction, but my curiosity wins out. Maybe I need to solve a mystery, any mystery. I unlock my box and remove a pile of catalogs, bills, and other assorted junk mail. It's right on top, an envelope from Priority Holdings, the management company that owns the building. Inside is a 1-page letter, single-spaced. Dear Ms. Burns, due to continuing complaints from other tenants regarding your conduct, we will not be offering you a rent renewal on your apartment when your current lease expires. Under New York State law, you have the right to contest this decision and request an administrative hearing in accordance with the New York City Housing Authority. There's another paragraph about whom to contact, but my attention immediately focuses on whom to blame for this outrage. I don't have to look far. This was your doing, wasn't it? Mrs. Rosencrantz strikes a priggish pose. I tend to think you did it to yourself. Unbelievable. You really have nothing better to do with your time, huh? I say, shaking the letter in her face. It's not like I didn't warn you this morning. This morning? You were terribly rude to me at your door. You have no manners, young woman. None. Mrs. Rosencrantz, for your information, that wasn't this morning. That was a week ago. My information is fine, Ms. Burns. I think I know when I knocked on your apartment door. Apparently you don't. And in any event, if you think I'm going to let you get away with this, you're sadly mistaken. I'll fight this like you won't believe. Go ahead. Make all the noise you want. Scream if you have to. Lord knows you're good at that. Oh, is she asking for it? For the first time in my life, I'm tempted to punch an old lady. And what's with her memory? She can't even get days straight? She can't even get her days straight? But I keep my cool. I summon every last ounce of willpower and walk away. You've got bigger fish to fry, Chris. I move to the elevator and press the up button. As I wait, another letter from the building's management catches my eye. A note, really. It's taped to the wall. Due to a problem with the furnace, the building was without hot water for a brief period early this morning. We apologize for any inconvenience. Obviously, the note is from a week ago and they forgot to take it down. Boy, do I remember that cold shower. But as I look closer, there's just one problem. The note's dated today. Chapter 86. Calm down. I tell myself there's a simple explanation. It happened again, that's all. The hot water was out this morning, and the morning Mrs. Rosencrantz came banging on my door. 2 different days. As far as what the nasty old bat claims, she's clearly going senile. I hop on the elevator, my head a jumbled mess. I've never been much of a drinker, but I have a feeling that could change tonight. Barely inside my apartment, I pour myself a Stoli. A vodka tonic minus the tonic. Then I gulp it like a shot. The only thing I want to feel right now is numb. I wish Michael could be with me. Better yet, I wish I knew what he was thinking. Why didn't he want to tell me? I worry about that temper of his, too. I pour another Stoli and page him while I clench the diamond and sapphire bracelet he gave me. I bet he wouldn't mind now if I wore it to work. A few minutes pass. The waiting is excruciating. I picture him in a late meeting at Bear Stevens or on an overseas call, unable to break away. Maybe he's with his lawyer, planning an exit strategy. There's a lot of money at stake in divorcing Penley. A few minutes turn into a half hour and the anger begins to kick in. I can't take this. Why isn't Michael calling me back? He has to know we need to talk. I page him again. Only now it's not anger driving me, it's fear. Has he done something? What may he do? I hit *67, dial him at home. I know Penley never gets the phone, but maybe he will. It rings and rings. Damn it. The answering machine comes on and I'm about to hang up when I hear, hello? I recognize her accent immediately. It's Maria. Only today's not one of the days she cleans. In fact, it's not even day anymore. It's night. Maria, it's me, Kristen, I say, trying not to sound anxious. What are you doing there? I'm babysitting, she answers. Mrs. Turnbull called me last minute to come over. Where's Mr. Turnbull? With Mrs. Turnbull. They go out to dinner. That stops me cold. Dinner together? You don't know where they went, do you? No, they give me cell phone numbers in case of emergency. I call them, you want? No, that's okay. When they come home later, I say you call. No, don't. I catch myself and settle down. I mean, that's not necessary. I'll talk to Mrs. Turnbull tomorrow. I thank Maria and hang up, not knowing whether to be relieved or even more worried. Probably the latter. After the way Michael reacted to seeing Penley this morning, the last thing I'd expect would be their having dinner together. Unless, of course, there's more to it, as in what Michael's not telling me. I page Michael again. If he's really having dinner with Penley, why can't he simply excuse himself and return my call? I start to cry and hate that I do. I can't help myself, though. The more I dwell on this, the harder it gets to take. I'm about to pour myself another drink when I realize it's not alcohol that I need. I need my darkroom. A minute later, under the faint red glow of my safety light, I get busy developing the film I snapped of Penley and Stephen outside the Falcon. I still can't believe they walked out of there together. Maybe it's true what they say. People having affairs secretly want to get caught. Whether that's really the case with Penley and Stephen isn't clear, but soon as I stare at the first shot of them, I see what is. No. Stephen's image is transparent, just like Penley's, just like the body bags. But it still doesn't make sense. My dream is more than a dream. It's real. It happened. Past tense. I know because I was there. It's not only me, is it? Someone else I know is at the Falcon. Of course, he's about the last person on earth I want to see again. Am I so nuts that I'd seek him out? No, just very, very desperate. Chapter 87. I dig the card he gave me out of my shoulder bag, bold black lettering printed on thick white stock. Detective Frank Delmonico, 19th Precinct, 153 East 67th Street. Just the sight of his name makes me uneasy. The phone number is crossed out and another is written above it in pen. Couple of the digits I can't make out, not that it matters. I have no intention of letting him know I'm coming, of course. I'm banking on the element of surprise. That and something else. Only a complete idiot would physically assault me in a building filled with cops. Taking deep breaths most of the way, I cab it over to the east side, the precinct mere blocks from the Falcon. Amid the street lamps and multiple floodlights, the stone building seems to glow under the night sky. It's actually quite beautiful, albeit in a foreboding kind of way. In fact, given different circumstances, I'd be reaching for my camera to shoot it. Not now, though. Taken enough scary pictures for a while. As I walk inside, two young policemen are walking out deep in conversation. One glances my way, giving me a quick nod and a smile. I'm about to ask him if Delmonico is here when, from the corner of my eye, I see what looks like the front desk. Behind it sits another officer, a hard-nosed type. Much older, bulky, red-faced, Irish as Paddy's pig. He's typing something into a computer as I approach him. "Help you?" he says, without so much as looking up from the monitor. So far, he'd never be able to pick me out of a lineup. "Yes," I answer. "I'm here to see Detective Frank Delmonico." His stubby fingers practically freeze on the keyboard. Slowly, he turns to me, his eyes collapsing into a squint. "Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean? Is Detective Delmonico here, or isn't he?" He shakes his head. "No, he's not here." "Do you know where he is?" "Matter of fact, I do. He's dead. That's where he is." I take a wobbly step back. "What? I just saw him. He came to my apartment." The officer leans forward in his chair. "When was this?" "A few days ago." "I think you're mistaken, miss. I don't think I caught the name." "No, I'm sure of it. He was in my apartment." He nods, stifles a chuckle. "Oh, yeah? How can you be so cavalier about this?" "I'm telling you the truth. Actually, I talked to him several times in the past week. He's very thin. Older." The officer leans forward even farther, stone-faced. "Now, let me tell you the truth," he says slowly. "Delmonico has been dead for over 3 years. I stand there in stunned silence as the precinct lobby begins to whirl around me. I can feel the blood draining from my head. My knees are starting to go. "Hey, you okay?" "No, I'm not. I'm absolutely positively not okay." "Are you sure we're talking about the same guy?" I ask. "Detective Frank Delmonico? Homicide?" "Yep, Frank Delmonico." He mutters something else under his breath. "What? I didn't hear that last part." "It was nothing." "It was obviously something. What was it?" He glares at me. "Who does this chick think she is?" But I don't back down. I actually raise my voice. "I want to know what you said." The cop shrugs. "Hey, if you insist." I said, "The cocksucker." As if I'm not confused enough. "Why wouldn't you say that about him?" "You a reporter?" He snaps. "No, hardly." "All the same, we're not supposed to talk about it. It was in all the papers at the time. Press has a ball with those kind of stories." "I didn't live here then? What happened?" "Let's just say the detective's not exactly missed around here." "Why? I need to hear this, please. This is very important to me." "Because he almost single-handedly brought down this precinct. That's why." I open my mouth to ask how, but he cuts me off. "Seriously, I can't talk about it. It's over with, and so is this conversation." I begin walking away. Then something occurs to me, and I quickly turn back. "At least let me ask you this," I say. "Does it have anything to do with the murders at the Falcon Hotel the other day?" The officer looks at me with a completely blank stare. What murders? And then, what can I say? I faint. Chapter 88. 15 or 20 minutes later, still dazed and with another good-sized bump on my noggin, I walk a block before I even realize it's raining. I'm too busy replaying every single encounter with Detective Delmonico in my mind. Is that where all this has happened? In my mind? It's impossible. It has to be. I talked to him. He talked to me. He gave me his card. How does a dead man do that? Wait a minute. Hold on. I stop short in the middle of the sidewalk, the raindrops feeling icy cold against my face. Pulling Delmonico's card from my pocket, I rub it between my fingers just to prove to myself that it's real. Sure feels like it. Taxi! The first thing I do after rushing into my apartment is turn on my computer. I should be too freaked out, too bewildered to think straight, and yet the obsession to learn the truth about Delmonico, what happened and what is happening, has me focused like never before. It was in all the papers, said the cop at the precinct. Let's see about that. I Google away, and the hits on Frank Delmonico's name number more than 1,000. Jeez Louise. Some of the sites are the venomous rantings of bloggers, but most are indeed news stories, all archived from the city's papers. The pages never turn yellow on the internet. I click on one site, and then another, and another. Not all of them include a picture, but when they do, he's always wearing that same gray suit. His dark, intense eyes are unmistakable. It's him, all right. And each and every article confirms what I still can't bring myself to believe. He's been dead for over 3 years. The more I read, the more I realize why the police don't like talking about the guy. Cocksucker indeed, and that's putting it mildly. Delmonico was a highly decorated officer with over 20 years on the job. He was also on the take for at least 10 of them, and that's just for starters. I keep clicking on sites until I find this one piece in the New York Times that lays the gory story out in grand detail. The article must be 2,500 words. Delmonico had gotten in bed with the Russian mob, protecting their interests in drugs and prostitution, as well as helping to launder money through the poker rooms of several Atlantic City casinos. The worst part was what happened when 2 young detectives from his precinct got close to linking one of his Russian comrades to a homicide in Queens. Delmonico whacked both detectives, did the job himself. What's more, he arranged it so he'd be the lead detective in the investigation. There was just one hitch. Delmonico thought they were alone in the alleyway when he pulled the trigger on the 2 detectives. He never saw an old Hasidic man who happened to be looking out a nearby tenement window, but the man in the window sure saw him. Still, it seemed everyone thought Delmonico would get away with it, including most in the DA's office. It was the word of a veteran detective against that of an elderly man with admittedly bad eyesight. Speculation had it that the only reason the case went forward was that a nervous mayor didn't want to seem soft on police corruption, especially 2 cold-blooded murders. But in the end, it was the Russians who proved even more nervous. A week before the start of the trial, Frank Delmonico was shot twice in the head at point-blank range. The gun used was a Makarov, a Russian-made 9mm. Just in case that wasn't enough of a message, there was something stuffed in Delmonico's mouth, a big black rat. But that rat wasn't the real kicker, at least from where I'm sitting. Hoping to avoid the reporters and cameras camped outside his apartment in Queens, Delmonico had decided to check into a hotel. That's where they found his body. At the Falcon. There was even a photo of his body being carried out in a long black bag.